Our speaker and leader, Mike Turzai, has asked to address this body. Coming up, Speaker.
Hey, Stephen. Hey, Lydia. Last November, Lydia and I and our boys began a campaign for governor that in just 3 months grew into a pretty extraordinary movement that you see today. We've been on a mission, but we did start late. But it's a movement that's been knitted together with Republicans from communities in every region of Pennsylvania. You know, it's been a movement that's breathed new life to an idea as old as man. Every life has dignity. Every life matters. It's an idea that has been at the center of my own public service. And it's the idea that has informed every battle that we have fought and won against Wolf and the legion of special interest allies who have funded his agenda. And guess what? You've all been part of it. Each and every one of you. Some of you for all of your lives. You know, it's a movement that stood against the architects of a more intrusive, expensive government from the Borough Hall to the state capitol that thinks it knows better than individuals, that makes us vassals of the state. And we keep fighting back and winning. It's a movement about good education for everybody, a school choice movement. It's a pro-life movement. It's a pro-family movement. It's a Second Amendment and constitutional rights movements. It's fiscal stewardship and limited government. It's a conservative movement. The principles behind this movement have caused so many of you and myself to run for office. Republican State Committee, School Board, Borough Council, Township Supervisor, State Representative, Senate, and federal office. I'd ask each and every one of you, do you remember the first day that you had to actually raise your hand and take an oath? How important that was. And then when you became part of the process and actually said, Mr. or Madam Chair, I'd like to make some comments for the record. You know, in that moment, you not only joined the movement again, but you took on responsibility to getting it done. You knew you were no longer alone and you had to work with a team. You know, I have to tell you, as Speaker, and in the other positions that I've held, I've never stopped loving that feeling of standing up against powerful odds and impossible circumstances. You have this awesome responsibility that you have to report back to the citizens. Words matter if you mean them. Actions matter if you take them. It's the same incredible sense that I feel when I recognize a new member on the House of the Floor is going to speak for the first time. But I encourage them, enter into the battle. And you know, those members, those Republican members, those principled Republican members, and all of you, you speak for the unborn, you speak for the vulnerable, you speak for the defenseless, you speak for the marginalized, you speak for the forgotten, you speak for the people paying the taxes, you speak for the people that go to work every day, and have dignity in their lives. Because you know what? They're taking care of themselves and their families. They respect their communities, churches, synagogues, mosques, and schools. They want to make sure that each and every person gives back. Those are the people that you stand for. It's so important that we recognize that big government is not the answer and that you as individuals actually matter. You know, I have to say, I do not in any way regret entering the contest for governor or the movement we've given voice to in this campaign. Not at all. But I do have to say that sometimes you have to make some decisions. And I'm at that point. You know, our majorities in the House are certainly at stake. we recognize that this is going to be a tough election. We know that. My good buddy, Mark Mustio, is the head of our House Republican Campaign Committee, and he wrote a letter to me and sent it out to my colleagues, and he said, first of all, Mike, we applaud you with running an incredible campaign and for your efforts to secure support in all 67 counties. And they are wonderful counties, by the way. You have a great county organizations and beautiful places in this Commonwealth. And I have to say, this kind sentence meant so much to me. It said, we know your candidacy was as much about us as it was about you. You've been passionate about advancing a pro-life agenda and protecting Second Amendment rights, prioritize the creation of family-sustaining jobs, promoting energy independence, and revitalizing manufacturing in our Commonwealth. And you successfully led our effort to block tax increases supported by Wolf, Harrisburg Democratic leaders, and even some in our own party. Well, to my good friend, thank you. I also know that we are a party, and you enter into competition, and sometimes you don't win. I've been around to each of the caucuses. I've been so honored to speak in every one of the 6 caucuses and to meet each and every one of you in your home counties. And I'm going to come up short. I came in second, and that's all right. Sometimes you get thrown for a loss, right? Sometimes you do. But you got to pick up the ball and run again at a later time. And at this time, I know that the Pennsylvania Republican Party is moving in a different direction, and that's perfectly positive, and that's what democracy is about. You know, at the end of my life, I do not want to look back and have any regrets that things were unsaid or left undone. For all my good Penn State, Pitt, Temple fans, and all the rest, I went to Notre Dame, and we're part of the Fiery Irish. Now, I've got to say, when you get into these endeavors, you know, you make some really great friends, and you know who you want to be in the foxhole with, right? Well, I have to tell you, 2 really great friends had approached me, and our state committeeman, Bob Asher, and our former lieutenant governor, and just a great Pennsylvanian, Lieutenant Governor Jim Cawley. Please, both. Jim has said, Mike, we got to hold this majority in the House. We need you to take focus on that and take charge. We can't let it get away from us. And he said, I would like to chair your Turzai Pennsylvania Fights Back Fund so that we can raise the money to keep all the House Republicans back and gain more seats. And then this good man, yes, please, thank you. And then this good man, Bob Asher, said, put me on as the first member of the board of directors. Bob, thank you so much, my good friend. Thank you. To so many of you who have really volunteered your time and been with me in these endeavors, please understand this campaign may be being suspended, but the mission's not suspended. The mission's not suspended at all. We got to hold the line on the taxes and the spending. We got to be fiscal stewards. We got to be for limited government. We got to be for pro-life from the moment of conception to the last breath on earth. We've got to be about Second Amendment rights. We've got to be for school choice so everybody gets an opportunity in every community across Pennsylvania. We want to grow businesses and our energy development and manufacturing because people really want to have a great paycheck from the private sector. They want to have good benefits and they want to give back to their communities, right? That's what they want to do. And that's where we are as Republicans. So listen, we're going to be that Republican Party in this election. We're going to be unified. We're going to be unified. We're going to go beat Wolf. We're going to beat Bob Casey. And I have to say, I'm so proud to do it with each and every one of you. And to Lydia and Stephen and Andrew and Matt, who can't be here, thank you. We could never have embarked on this without you. To Andrew, Jeff, Sarah, Al, Allison, Mike, John, Robert, Vince, Rod, all of you, thank you so much for giving me the time and effort in your lives. Folks, let's go get them. Thank you so much.